the code cannot be manually reviewed. There can be hundreds of lines of code. If you manually review as a human eye, it becomes so complicated and you will miss so many errors. Yes?
Yeah.
So you use a tool, and when you use a tool, that becomes static analysis. Yes? So testing the code by a tool, instead of testing, I will use reviewing, so it becomes clearer. Reviewing the code by a tool is static analysis. Okay? You are reviewing the code, there can be hundreds of lines of code, so it becomes difficult. So you miss so many defects sometimes in the code. So you use a tool, compiler tool, and when you use a compiler tool, you will be able to identify some of the defects. Yes?
Yeah.
So what are the defects you find in static analysis? Typical defects discovered in static analysis. Inefficient use of variable. You are declaring variables, you are assigning the values but not using it, you are using it but not declaring. They are all inefficient use of variables. Infinite loop. So if you use a loop, and if your code enters in the loop, it will never stop, it will carry on executing. That is known as infinite loop. Infinite loop, there is a condition.
So loops are we identify here?
Yes, the defects you identify.
But if infinite, so it cannot be stopped.
Yes, the code will be executed, it will not stop. Okay?
Okay.
Unreachable code or dead code. You have a code that will never be executed, it won't be reached at all. You have a condition in a way that it won't be executed in any condition. That code is known as unreachable or dead code. Inconsistent component module interfaces. You are using components but you have inconsistency. Inconsistent component module interfaces. Yes, you are using them but there is no consistency of declaring. Overly complex constructs. Overly complex constructs. Sometimes the code can be written in a simple way, but the developers might make it so complicated. So if it is complex, this kind of defects we can find. Programming standards violation. Yes, programming, so each and every developer, they have to follow the rules, the programming standards of the organization. Okay, particular organization we work. If these developers are not following the standard, we can find out in static analysis. Syntax violation. Each and every programming language we use in a code, each and every programming language we use in our project, they have some syntax rules. Yes, if any of the developers is not following, or any one of us not followed the syntax rules, it will throw an error. So this is a tool, you can say this is a compiler tool, which can be used for Java. Yes, so I will give you some of the examples in here for all of them one by one. Okay. Can you see here variables? There are 4 variables here. I will not use this one, it will make you more confused. Yes. Can you see this class? And you can see there are variables.
Yeah.
Static int a. I can delete it for the time being. So int a is a variable, okay? And then I have int b. It's another variable. Yes. So this is known as declaring. Yes. Then I have defined some values. A equals 10 and b equals 22. There are some values there. Yes. Now if I say in here a, I have deleted because I am using in a way that let me control Z. Okay. So I have declared a variable in here. Yes. I'm using it here, but I do not have any value allocated to it, defined. Yes. So this is an error. If I am declaring a variable, then I should have some value, initialize the value. Yes, it is not there. I have used in here whatever it was, 15 I put it. So here I have a variable which has some value. I declare it int a equals 15. Okay, but if I comment it, that means this a is equal to 15 is there, but in my actual code I'm not using this variable at all anywhere. That means you are declaring the variable but you are not using it. Understood?
Yes.
So here you can see some of the errors. See, the value of local variable var is not used. Why it is saying in here is a variable is that variable more var equal to this, but I commented this and that's why it is saying, see, this error has gone straight away. Yes, so I have a variable, even this is I'm not using it. Here also see, if I remove the comment, as soon as it will say yes. Understood?
Yeah.
So as soon as we declare it, why there are error there? Because I have commented some of the code in here. As soon as I remove it, some of the errors will go. I have to use it here. A, change access to static. Yes. Yes, so this error will go. Yes. This is an example I'm using as a method, so it's fine. Another, declare, define. Declaring variable. Here you say that a equal to 15 and a equals, here I put this dot a equal to, I can again use a. Okay, a equals 12. In fact, I can do it. Okay, this is nothing wrong. I'm reassigning the value to a. A is 15, but I'm reassigning to 15. Okay, but if I say int a, see, it will not so because it's a different but if you do not need, don't change the values. Like if you're repeating the values, yes, so this will be an inefficient way of using variables. Any question?
No.
Next, I'm creating a class and I will put while loop. I was looking it is there or no. While loop, yes. So I have a while loop. In there I have a value int a equals 20. This is a variable, okay?
Okay.
And I am saying I will use while. Okay, so I need to use while keyword, and when I use while keyword, it has to have the specific methods. Okay, so use while and you have to have this bracket. In this bracket your condition is there. Understand, this is why there is an error, because I have not put any condition there. So if I put a condition which is any condition, like I have defined some value, so say while I, it's a less than, or say greater than 20. Yeah, let me put 0. If this condition is achieved, what happens? The code will stop executing. Yes, in this case you just simply write a statement. Just to understand sysout, we will print the value of a. Now I am going to execute this code. What happens? See, can you see what is happening?
2020 wala. Okay. Is executed.
This code will never stop. Why?
Okay.
If you leave it like this for days and days, it will print 20 20 20.
Okay.
So actually this code is known as
While
date code. Yes, if you put something like this, a is already greater than 20, but if you put less than, see what happens. Yes, not printing. So you can say a plus plus. Will increment the value. Let me put another int. Put this 10. Yes, now see what happens. Then it will put 1 2 3 4 5. So a is 1. As soon as it hits this condition, it will stop. If you just remove this one, you can remove it, nothing wrong. Okay, but it will not see, it will print 1 1 1. Why?
yes.
Because it will go into the loop. Why it will go into the loop? You are asking to print the value of a and it is printing, but you are not saying a is less than 10, but you are not giving any condition. So again it goes into the loop. So what you need to do? A plus plus. So what does this code do? When you write a plus plus, it will say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If you put 0, then it will start from 0.
Okay.
0. If you put 20 in here, then what will happen? It will print up to 20.
Okay.
Any question?
No.
So if your condition is wrong, then what happened?
Find out.
What will happen if I do greater than? It will not, because the condition itself is wrong. Why? What is wrong with the condition?
Cannot specify?
No. A equal to 0 you are saying.
Yeah.
And your here condition is A equal to greater than 20. Is A greater than 20?
No.
If you put 30, then you are printing and it will print 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. But as soon as you change your condition, re-execute it. Stop it. It is not stopping even.
Okay.
So this is what it happens in the loop. So it crashes. Yes.
Yes.
Even though, so your condition should be correct as well, and the condition should be achievable condition.
Okay.
This is called infinite loops. You can see here in front of you. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The next one is unreachable code. So you write a code. This will never be executed. Okay.
Yes.
Because this code will never ever reach, and that's why this part of code will never be executed.
Okay.
Here, let me give you an example of unreachable code. So here we have an example. Let me find out a simple, because this example is not the proper way, but I can copy and give you. Okay, so I give you a proper Java code instead of an example in here, which is not correct. So I have an example in here is, if you are over 17, okay, if you are over 17, if you are over 17, then what you are doing? Do this something. So what you will do? Can drive a car. Okay, if you are over 17, then you can drive a car. If you are not over 17, then what happens? You cannot drive a car. Yes.
Yes.
And it ends the process. You say yes, no, end process. Yes, you will end the process if you are not 17. But here you are asking another question. This takes you somewhere else to another question, and you are saying, if you are 16, you have asked a question. If you are 17, you say yes, then say you are can drive a car. But now you are saying, if you are 16, if you are over 16, so when you are over 16, yes. If you are 16, it will have yes and no. Yes, you will have yes and you will have no. If no, then it is saying cannot marry. Okay, can't marry. But if you are over 16, saying yes, you can marry. Yes, yes, you can marry. So what is the problem with this code? Whenever you go and do this, if you are under 17, you say, are you over 17 or under? You are say under 17. As soon as you are under 17, what happens? This process ends.
Yeah.
Yes. So this part of the code will never be executed.
Okay.
Yes. This part of the code will never be executed, and that's why this part of the code is known as unreachable code or date code.
Okay.
Yes. It is confusing, but no need to worry about this white box testing. Okay.
Okay.
Next, I give you an example. I have int a equals to int is a data type. A, I'm using the name, variable name, so it's a variable, and I'm declaring assigning a value which is 2. Yes, and I'm using for loop. Okay, in the for loop you always have the condition, but I'm giving an empty condition. No condition, I give empty condition, and I give another if statement and say a equals 2. If a exactly value is 2, then you say break. Break statement is used in Java. I will explain when we go in detail in Java. And you say doing something. Okay, so this is the code we have in here. This will get a compile time error because this code is unreachable code. Can you see? Unreachable code, one fix available. Yes, as soon as you remove this, there won't be an error. So this print statement will never be executed because it is an unreachable code. Okay, let's go to the another example. I'm using for loop. Yes. So last time I have an empty condition, but I have some condition in here. I don't need this variable. Int I equals 0. Semicolon I value is less than 5 and I plus. So what you say? Print some value until it reaches 5. Yes. And say continue. Says out. And I'm putting a variable which is what is this called? String value. As soon as it is saying unreachable code, remove it. Remove it. It will not print anything. Yes, but you can say system.out.println I. See, remove unreachable code because there is nothing to achieve. Then as soon as I remove this continue, it says there is no error. Yes, and it will print I. The value of I means. Any question?
No.
Next. Inconsistent component. So the component the developers they are using, they have inconsistent way of method. Yes, complex construct. So this is the simple way of defining, but if I have used so many complicated code, then it will become overly complex construct. Programming standard violation. So Java statement ends with semicolon. That is a syntax rule. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
As soon as I delete this, it will show error because there is a syntax error. In the for loop, in the small bracket, you have to have a condition. As soon as I delete, it is throwing an error. Yes. Syntax error on token for decode header name expected. Yes. As soon as I put empty, it is saying something empty is there. Here I have not declared a variable, and that's why it is saying I cannot be resolved to a variable. Create a local variable. Yes.
Yes.
So these are the things we have in here to understand. Syntax violations explain. Any question?
No.
We will go this much in detail in Java. Okay.
Okay.
This is the end of chapter.
Oh, chapter is finished.
This is the chapter, and